Hi guys, how are you doing today? My name is Zayode Jose Thomas, and welcome back live again to Farmer Hub TV, the show where farmers get together and we share ideas and conversation about the farming sector in Nigeria and also everywhere in the world. So it's not restricted only to Nigeria. We're live right now on Facebook, YouTube, and we are hoping that you join us on the show so that we can start the show proper. I have with me a very important person in the name of Mrs. Olajumoke Awoshika, who is an organic farmer. So our topic today definitely is going to be going talking about the organic farming in Nigeria. So once again, welcome to the show, and thank you for joining us. Do like, subscribe on the show, and we'll be very happy to have you on. Hi, once again. Well, welcome to the show. Like I said, we do have an interesting topic today, which is about organic farming. And our guest today is a farmer at heart who also is into organic farming and is going to be putting us through some information that we require to start our own farm. Like I said, our show is basically a conversation kind of show. So we do start the conversation on how to make sure that farmers start things the right way. And I'm going to introduce her right now. I have with me on the show Mrs. Olajumoke Awoshika, who is an organic farmer, and I'm going to let her introduce herself in a better way because I know she would do justice to the introduction more than I will. Welcome to the show, man. Uh,
Hi, good evening or afternoon wherever you are in the world. It's evening in Nigeria.
Yeah, it is a global world. Eh? I'm
Yes.
talking to you from Canada. She's in Nigeria, and like I said, she is going to put us through the aspect of organic farming. We're just going to go ahead and just start the show proper. Um, Ma'am, tell like what is organic farming?
Well, in a nutshell, organic farming is farming without the use of chemical inputs. You know, but it goes beyond that. It addresses issues of sustainable food production and improve farming practices. Where we don't use any kind of pesticides and chemical fertilizers.
Mm,
Because most of those they destroy the ecosystem
yeah,
and causes lots of health hazards
hazard,
uh,
yeah.
to our bodies. So as we can see in the spate of rising cancer, high blood pressure, diabetes, etc. So organic farming brings a higher quality organic food to the market. It empowers the organic farmers, and it basically, it's a safer and more nutritious way to for food production.
Mm. Wow, that is something. We're gonna be using Nigeria as a contest in most of our conversation. Like I'm based in Canada, like you said, and I see a lot of practices about organic farming done the proper way. I see them do, in fact, they promote it as much as. possible, and it's done. They try to encourage farmers to go into it. In a place like Nigeria, how do one, you know, maximize that potential? Because I know farming itself in Nigeria is still not done the right way. We still do it either as an hobby, or we do it as our forefathers used to do it, which is, the old practices, the way it's being practiced then. So how do we maximize that potential of organic farming in a place like Nigeria?
Well, Nigeria is coming up. I've lived in the States for about 35 years before I came back home to Nigeria. So when I came back, and when you are in the States, when you are in the US, when you are in Canada, when you are in Europe, it's easy for you to go to like a Whole Food market. The organic produce is readily available. So to
Hmm.
my surprise, when I got to Nigeria, there was nothing organic.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I started asking around. So till then I went online. So I saw just one person that was named that was calling himself an organic farmer in Nigeria. So I hooked up with him. How can I get organic produce? So and then there was absolutely no certification. you know.
Hmm.
So he said, well, he's coming up, he's training some people. So I had to start buying seeds and I had to start it in my backyard.
Hmm.
So that's like about 7 years ago now. So that's
Wow.
how I started my organic adventure.
Wow.
And of
Wow.
course, I can't produce everything organic.
Hmm.
So, we got together, like-minded people, as the years went by, I started talking to people about organic. They're like, what's organic? What's organic? So I would explain to them, I would teach them, so I became like an advocate for organic
Advocate. Yeah.
farming in Nigeria. So once I started producing it, and luckily for me, then we had a very very big yard. I had like 200 square meters, available to me to start producing. So at the
Hmm.
end of the day, it became so big that I had to look for an outlet to start selling my organic produce. So, and that's how I became an organic farmer in Nigeria. But like you
Wow.
said, it's even farming alone by itself with all the chemicals is still not like the way they farm in the United States or in Canada or in the developed nations of the world. It's still more like a hands-on. They hardly use all this mechanized farming. So
Yeah.
you have to it's more expensive. You have to like get lots of laborers, to help you farm. Especially for me now as an organic farmer, it's even more like double what an average farmer would spend, because we have to do all our weeding manually and all that. So organic farming in Nigeria is definitely not a picnic.
I can
It's not easy
imagine
at
that.
all.
Yeah, I can imagine that. Wow, 7 years. Wow, that's a long time,
Yeah.
and I believe you still have more years to go, and God willing, you'll be very very much successful, more than you are right now in it.
Amen. Well,
So,
I'm not, we're not really seeing the money coming in yet because, like I said,
mm,
it's a very expensive venture now in Nigeria.
venture, yeah, yeah,
Yes, and most of the money goes into hiring laborers, into feeding them,
mm.
and we are constantly weeding. Like my farm, for instance, is like a 10-acre organic farm. So we are
Wow,
constantly
that's
we are
huge.
constantly weeding. You
Wow.
know,
I can imagine
so
the manpower you have to
yes,
weed 10 acres. That's a lot. So now that you've brought up that topic of 10 acres. So for someone like that wants to start, what would you advise, that person to
start
start with?
small.
How? Yeah.
Start small. Start small. I
Mm.
have lots of people that I train. My passion really is more into like the backyard farming. I'm teaching
Okay.
people, no matter how small the space you have is, you can
So
you can farm in
so sort of like
containers.
homesteading, right?
Homesteading, yes.
Mm.
Raise some chickens for your manure,
Mm.
or rabbits, so you can have their manure to use instead of the chemicals. So my passion is good evening. So my passion is for the backyard farmer.
Mm.
That's what I train, that's what I teach, you know. Because honestly, organic farming in Nigeria is very difficult. It's very difficult. Out of my 10-acre farm, I had to like section out like just 2 acres to be doing vegetables.
Mm.
The rest of the 8 acres, we are planting like plantains, yams, cassava, you know. So our 2 acres is the intensive farming.
Intensive, yeah.
And
Okay.
it's believe me, it's really, really intensive.
Mm. Wow. Well, hopefully, we're gonna have the chance to visit the farm as well, very soon.
That would be great.
Um, the you so you brought up the kind of crops you have there. So, as a starter, what crop would you advise? What type of organic? I know there are different things you can do.
Yes.
So, what type of organic farming would you encourage someone that wants to start with?
I'll encourage you to at least start with your basic vegetables, with the
Mhm.
lettuce, because those are easily grown, can be easily grown without lots of inputs. So start with lettuce,
Mhm.
cucumbers. Cucumber, for instance, is like a 99% water, has a 99% water content.
Mm.
So you don't want to ingest that. You don't want to take in all that chemicals. Because when they grow that here in Nigeria now, like I said, there is no regulation.
Yeah.
There's no regulation. So all our soil, all our land is being eroded, is being destroyed with chemicals, with
Mm.
fertilizers, with pesticides, with growth hormones, with antibiotics. There is no regulation, especially the food coming from the north. Because their land is not as fertile, is not as loose,
Lose,
not
yeah.
as not as rich as the land in the north, southwest, and the southeast.
Mm.
So they have to overcompensate with all these fertilizers, with all these pesticides.
Mm.
All the most of the glyphosate that's been banned in the United States, in Canada, for instance, I think they call one weed something. I forgot the name, but they're all glyphosate based. It's carcinogenic. It's been banned. Now, if you go to the most rural part of Nigeria, you will see them in the farmers market.
That's what they use.
That's what they're using. That's what they're using, and it's killing people, at an alarming rate in the United States, for instance. You know, lots of compensation is being paid to farmers that's been known to get cancer from all these chemicals. But in Nigeria is open sesame. Everybody is using it because it's so effective. They can use it and they're like, it's very good. In 6 months, no weed will come up. So guess what? That is going into our ecosystem. It's going into our waters. It's going into the soil, and it stays there for decades. You know,
Mm.
let's say if you can hardly test the urine of an average African now without seeing all these growth hormones and
I
all this
won't say.
glyphosate in their urine.
Yep.
So and that's quite alarming. And of course, our government, they don't care. They don't care. At the onset of farming, they use all this we call it pako pako here. It means all these weed killers. They use
With
them.
killers, yeah.
So once they use that, then when the plants now, even in most of the crops that are being imported to Nigeria now, it has pesticides in them.
Mm.
Take for instance maize, our cassava now. They are giving us all these hybrids, not the open pollinated heirlooms, that we had. So they're now importing all these hybrids that has chemicals in them to prevent pests from eating up the crops. So
Hmm.
once the farmers plant those, they will now spray it now with all these pesticides. That's like three in one. No, they will now add it. Then when they're bringing it to Lagos, because of course Lagos is the biggest market in Africa,
Market, yeah.
so they're now going to put all these ripening agents because they're going to harvest it while they're green, then spray it, then they bring it down to Lagos. So you have all this red looking, rich looking tomatoes and peppers that's been ripened with all these chemicals, and that's what we want to buy in the market, and it's destroying our health. So it's alarming
Wow.
because, like I said, there are no standards in
No
Nigeria.
stand, no
Everything
standard
goes.
at all.
No
So
standard.
how do you how do you as an organic farmer, promote your products? How do you, let people know that, okay, I this is what I do? How difficult is it for you presently?
Well, honestly, there's more awareness now. It's better than it was 7 years ago or 5 years ago, for instance. So it's getting better. Especially, Nigerians travel all over the world. So we see them, we see all this fresh, wholesome vegetables when we travel abroad. So our market is mainly targeted now to the elites, to the educated people. So that's what we are doing now. We are creating awareness. Everywhere I go, I talk to people, I teach people. So when they invited me to your show, I had to make myself available because it's another channel for me to reach out to people and tell them about you know the benefits and the potentials in organic farming. And the sad thing about this is that chemicals for farming came up at the turn of the 20th century, right after World War II. When they discovered all these chemicals, that they were using on people. So the next thing then is that in the 1950s and 60s, farmers started using all these chemical fertilizers, all this pesticide when agric was industrialized.
Yeah.
So gradually it's coming down to Nigeria
Hmm.
because before, by default, the way we planted in Africa was mostly organic. It was
Organic.
natural.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was organic. You know, we didn't have all these hybrid seeds. We don't have
Hmm.
all this GMO. We don't have all these pesticides. Our fathers then, they married lots of wives and had lots
Hmm.
of children that had
Yeah.
to that had to go to the farm. Had lots of slaves and lots of servants. But now these days, everybody is educated. Nobody wants to go to the farm anymore.
Hmm.
So that's why we are depending heavily on chemicals.
Yeah. I remember actually growing up, going to the farm in Otta area with my grandparents,
Okay.
and I never seem to ever see them use any pesticide or
No.
chemicals
Uh-huh.
on any of our their farms. And that's why I got a love for agriculture from, because I grew up always, it was more like a vacation for me anytime we go, because we were
Wow.
in the, in island, Lagos Island, and going to Otaden was like traveling for a
Yes.
kid like me, right? So it was more adventure. Wow, this is what I would want to get into. So it's you're very right with everything you said about how things is becoming to be in Nigeria, and how Nigeria is becoming a dumping ground for
It's
all the
yes.
stuff they don't use anymore. And
Yes. Because
so
they have to find a market for it. They
yeah.
have to find a market for it. And
Mm,
another bad thing that's slowly, you know, being done in Africa now is that all our old seeds, our heirloom seeds, they are gradually disappearing.
disappearing.
So
Yeah.
what we have coming in now is mostly hybrids.
Hybrids.
All these F1 seeds that
Mm,
can never produce again to type.
mm,
You have to keep buying them. You have to
mm,
keep buying
mm.
them. So now I'm teaching people, save your own seeds, because gradually we'll we'll be dependent on the West very soon for all our seeds, even the cassava.
Yep.
They're bringing us what they call developed seeds now, better seeds now. What happened to
Mm,
our old cassava? There's nothing wrong with it. So
mm.
gradually all of it is being phased out, and we are being made to depend on all these imported seeds, and it's soon gonna be a problem.
Hmm. Oh, and that's something. So what's now do you think is a way forward? Because one of the reasons why we have the show on, why me and Tunde started the show, was more to try and educate people so that we can do things the right way. Be it, your conventional farming or organic farming, we're trying to educate people to start the right way so that you can end up maximizing your profit, your farming, everything you want to do. So what would you suggest is a way forward for a farmer that wants to get into organic farming?
Yes. See, now with the awareness now, we have lots of people now in Nigeria that are battling cancer,
Yes.
that are battling high blood pressure, that are battling diabetes. What got me into organic in the first place was when I was diagnosed with high blood pressure and with
Wow.
diabetes.
Yeah. Mhm.
So, and I was, and I started eating healthier foods in the States.
Mm.
So that's what made me go into organic farming. Organic food, organic produce lasts longer. It has a longer
Yes.
shelf life.
Their
It
shelf
tastes
life.
better.
Mm.
It tastes better. It is sweeter because it doesn't have all these chemicals inside. Take, for instance, all the tomatoes that are being shipped to us from the north. It's usually water. It's watery. It doesn't hold
Mm.
firm
Yeah.
because of the chemical inputs in it. You can't compare it with the tomatoes I grow in my backyard. My tomatoes are firmer. They are sweeter. So I mean, what they have done is like yams, for example. All the yams that are chemically produced, you have all these huge yams as
Mm.
big as somebody's leg. Okay, but as soon as you bring it in your house, within 3 days, it starts going bad. But bring a farm. I grow yams on my farm, and mine tastes. In fact, as soon as I harvest them, it's gone. I have a back order. So, and I sell it more expensive. When I
Mm.
first started, people were complaining about my price. But once they started seeing the difference between my produce and the average produce they buy in the market, can I tell you that gradually my market base is expanding?
Yeah.
I'm making more money. So they are saying that it's more profitable. So then now I've had to employ other farmers on their own farm. I give them my organic seeds. and I buy back the yams from them once it comes out. But they have to go and do all the hard work.
Hard
But
work, yeah.
what they have seen is that what I give them is much better than what they are getting in the market. So of
Hmm.
course that's going to advertise my product.
Yes, that's true.
When they buy my beans, it doesn't bring out this foamy water
Hmm.
from the ones they get in the market. So automatically that's going to advertise itself. So gradually, organic farmers now can see that they're actually making more money. So what I would advise people to start with, if you're going to start in your start small, you know, because there are lots of things that you can do that makes you not even need to even get all these chemicals at all. Say for instance, you can suppress the weed with newspaper, with
Yeah,
cardboard.
with
You
cardboard. Yeah.
can mulch them. You can use straw. You can use leaves. Because a weed, if it doesn't see the light of the sun or it doesn't get water, it's going to naturally die.
Yeah.
But you can only do this on a smaller scale.
Hmm.
So I have some farmers now. They started last year in their own backyard. This year they harvested over 50 tubers of yam,
Hmm.
right in sacks from their own backyard. They were so excited. Last year they planted, they were able to get 20. This year is 50. He said, in fact, he's using a whole plot of land, you know, and he's gonna sell it. I can buy from them to resell.
Hmm.
So organic farming is more profitable and is getting more and more profitable. And that's making lots of people come into it. So it's sustainable.
No, no, yeah, that's something. I remember when Tunde actually introduced the topic to me that why don't we talk about organic farming? The first thing I said in my mind was that no, it's not going to work because Nigeria is not ready for that. I was like, you he was like, oh, but Nigeria. I was like, well, I was now talking to a friend of mine that the way I see it, because I go to the shopping aisle here in Canada and I see a whole line for organic produce, everything organic. And I'm wondering, is that possible in Nigeria? So how do you so my question really is how do you put your products on the shopping aisle? How do one do that in Nigeria?
I didn't hear the question very well.
So my question is that how can one put, because you've lived in US, and I believe when you go to the shopping mall, especially the stores, you see a aisle full of organic produce. You see a line of organic produce. So how do one, put one's product? How do you put your product in the shopping malls in Nigeria?
Okay. We haven't gotten to the state of shopping malls really yet because I can even hardly meet the demands of my customers. So what I do, you have someone in Canada. I think his name is Jean Fortier or something.
Mm.
He is a guru in the organic world.
Yep.
In fact, he's
Right.
our standard in America, in Nigeria. He's a standard, and the way he sells is what we are trying to emulate.
Okay.
And that is when you get people, families, one on one to sell
One on
directly to
one
them.
to them. Mm.
So that's what we are doing. Like I said, farming organically without mechanized, without going using all these farming implements is
Yes.
not easy. It's really not easy. I A group of us, like 5 or 6 of us, we are hoping that next year we're going to come together and start like a farmers market. somewhere here in Lagos, on the island. Because like I said, it's not something that just one person can meet. It's a very broad market, and
Broad market. Yeah.
yes, and it's getting bigger. We hope that maybe like a cluster of us can come together, at least like 20 farmers, and maybe, supply like ShopRite or Spar or a big supermarket. I alone, I was supplying like three supermarkets on the island. But honestly, I couldn't even meet up with the demand.
Mm.
So
Wow.
it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Wow, thank you so much. There you have it, guys. We like I said, we have Mrs. Olajumoke Awoshika on online with us today, and she's been very, informative about the organic farming sector in Nigeria. She's one of one person you we need to get in touch with. So if you're watching us live right now, or you're sending this to a friend of yours to watch later, if you want to get into organic, anything organic, I believe this is the person you need to get in touch with. She knows what she's doing, and she's gone through it all for 7 years. That's no joke. I mean, I believe she must have, failed, sucks, she's successful.
Oh,
All the
yes.
failures has turned into success, and she's still, doing it. So definitely this is the person we need to talk to. Um the other thing I would want us to talk about is I still want us to talk about the land itself. So if I buy land, how do you know I believe, if it's the your natural farming practice, there are certain things you need to do. So as an organic farmer, what do I need to do to my land to prepare it?
Okay. The land in Nigeria, most of the land, when you go and buy a virgin land, I advise you, if you're going to buy a land and you want to go into organic farming, the best land you can buy is a virgin land.
Hmm.
That is a land that's never been farmed before.
Never been farmed.
Because all these migrant farmers come from like Cotonou, from from all over, from Togo, and they come and farm in the southwest of Nigeria, because land is still readily available
Yeah.
in Oyo State, in Osun State, you know. So get a virgin land and start small, because once you get your virgin land, you can clear it, and you're sure that the land you are buying hasn't been, they haven't used chemicals on it. So, but the most expensive aspect in starting a farm or venturing into a farm is clearing the land. It's
Hmm.
expensive because, like I said, you don't want to go and use a bulldozer,
Hmm.
because what bulldozer and caterpillar does is going to totally destroy your ecosystem.
Yeah.
So it's going to remove all your topsoil, destroy all the trees, But in organic farming, you don't completely remove all the trees, and you have
That's
to
true.
manually, you know, cut the trees, cut a clearing, still leave lots of the trees there, then you start your farm. Then they burn it. When once they burn it, of course they're going to kill lots of earthworms and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So we do consulting now. There is a good way to clear your land that won't
Hmm.
destroy your ecosystem. So, and I
Hmm.
always advise, start with like 2 acres. Start with 2 acres. From 2 acres, you can feed like 200 families, you know, if you know what you're doing. And what we teach people now is to use the raised bed system,
Raised bed.
and
Yeah.
not just the bare ground. You raise the soil,
Hmm.
and you plant in there, and that makes your produce come out better, because they don't have to battle, lots of all these other things, issues on the farm when you use the raised bed system. So that's how we teach people. And you could also, we teach them how to suppress the weed. So you don't have to be all your laborers won't be battling weeding, because our land is actually very, very fertile here in the southwest, especially the virgin land. you
Hmm.
know we teach them how to do composting. That's your how to make your own fertilizers, how to use a well decomposed manure,
Manual, yeah.
you know how to mulch for a better production. You'll be surprised to see that Chinese people, Indians are coming to Nigeria and they're buying up our land
Ah, yeah.
at
Yeah.
an alarming rate. A group of us came together and formed what we call the heritage preservation. That there is nowhere in the world that foreigners will come and just start buying up land.
Hmm.
It's not done. They can lease the land, but you should not be selling your heritage.
Yes.
If people are coming from England, from from uh, from Europe, from especially the Chinese, and they're just buying up land and clearing it, and then they're now employing our own people and
Hmm.
paying them pennies to work for us. That's second colonization, loading.
Yeah.
So lots of us, we are already, trying to create awareness about that, you know. So, and we are really encouraging Nigerians, because farming is very profitable if you know what you are doing. Like you said
If you know.
earlier, I made lots of mistakes. I lost millions coming into the farming thing, you know. But now, to the glory of God, is getting better.
Hmm.
Because once you have learned how not to do it, that is wisdom.
That is wisdom. Yep. Yep. That's one of the reasons why we started this show, as in
Yeah.
trying to how teach people how not to do it, encourage people how to start right.
Yes.
I have uh a view on here. Once you want us to talk about insecurity and survival, I really don't know. I'm going to let you read it as well, because I'm trying to see how it's an aspect of security basically on the farm, with headsmen, ritualists and all that.
We have been
Uh,
very lucky in the in my community in the southwest here in Oyo State where I farm. We have been
okay,
so blessed, but it's getting quite alarming, because they seem to be gradually moving in. We are
especially with
beginning
the
to see
headsmen, right?
cows, which we didn't see before this year for the first time around my village. But we have one of the most secured places in Oyo State. We have a very strong security system in place
Mm,
here, you know, and they don't joke, they don't play. They quickly arrest the cows and they quickly apprehend them.
mm,
In my local government, Akinyele local government, for instance, they don't joke with them. They don't joke at all. So and that's they discourage them. You can't there's no open grazing, so and they are looking out for us farmers, but like I said, they are slowly encroaching in, and the spate of insecurity in Nigeria, honestly, is alarming.
it's alarming. Yeah,
Is
it's
alarming.
really something to worry about, and it's wow. It's only in Nigeria you will hear that you have to arrest a cow,
Yeah,
because it's something else. We don't arrest humans anymore. It's the cow that we have to arrest.
because once you arrest the cows, the owners will they will come.
They'll come. Yeah, I
They'll come.
understand. Wow. So that there you have it, Matthew. That's an advice for you. You security is very important as well, and
But
it's
in
something
other
that
parts of Nigeria now, in the southwest, especially Okeogun area, going towards Shaki is saying,
mm,
honestly, it's getting very dangerous.
dangerous.
It's getting very dangerous.
Mm. And that's really something. Let's get back to organic farming. Um, so we were talking about preparing your land and getting it
Yeah.
ready and everything. So your advice is not to use not to mechanize it. Try to do it as
No, it's good to mechanize your farm. But my
Hmm.
advice is don't use a caterpillar or a bulldozer.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Get people
Well, yeah. So
that will
what
come in.
about because I know I've seen a farm here where they do what they call they actually grass fed beef and they also rotate
That's
it.
a cattle
They
ranching.
farm as well. They farm vegetables, greens, and all that as well. But what the idea of what they do is that they apportion a certain section for a period of time where they have cattle on there, eat up the grass. They move from that while the cattle dung also fertilize the land. Is that something you advise as well? Is this do you think this is a good idea as well?
The audio was cracking a little bit, so I couldn't really hear what you said. All I heard is
Okay,
that
so
you being able to grass feed your cattle, which is the best way. That's cattle ranching. You know,
yes.
driving
Um
cattle all over the place is a cake,
mm,
and it really doesn't make any sense because you can still have a profitable. You can raise cattle profitably by um by ranching them,
by
by grass
ranching
feeding
them.
them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, it doesn't have to be done the way it's been done now. I mean, you
Mm,
can't use your own business to destroy somebody else's business.
business, yeah, that's true.
And it's very very unfair, and it's not
Mm,
it's because look at the cows that are being raised abroad. When they stay put in one place, they get very very big and fat.
yeah, they do.
But
They
by the
do.
time they migrate here down from the north down here, by the time when you see them on
It's
the
all
highways, they are
bones.
skinny, they are lean.
It's all
Then they have to
bones.
like keep them in a place where they start destroying other people's crops
Mm,
to feed them. It doesn't make any sense. And that's why, your state, for instance, they passed a law against open grazing and says your cows must be driven into the state. But
mm,
unfortunately, the laws are not being the is not being enforced. But that's the best way to go.
mm. Oh,
That's in Ghana, for instance, when they had some Fulani cross by there, the president immediately made a law that said if you catch any cow on the street, you have my permission to barbecue that cow. And it stopped. He said, "This is not
mm,
Nigeria." And it immediately stopped. So
mm.
until we can get to that position in Nigeria, the struggle continues for farmers.
For farmers, yeah. So, and the other point I was trying to also ask you about making that point of the cattle was on on your land. The if you apportion a certain section where you the cattle's are for time a period where they move from one portion to the other, does that also help fertilize the
Yes, yes,
so so
that's
this is something
homesteading.
you would encourage as well?
Yes, that is rotation.
Rotation,
It's a cycle rotation.
yeah.
Say for instance, now I want to like raise like 20 cows on my 10-acre farm. All I need to do is simply divide the farm into four. That's like two and a half acres. That's an hectare each. So
Mm,
this year I keep the cows here for the year, and they eat whatever they need to do. And as they are eating it, they are pouring their manure back on that ground for me.
mm.
So the next year I move them to another section of the farm, and maybe I now come and plant my maize in that section where they used.
Where
And
they
before
use,
you
yeah.
know it, the production on that land that was used by the cows last year is going to be massive. The output. because that land has been fertilized. You
Mm.
know, it's been well fertilized, and that's what they do where I go to get my manure, for instance. In that paddock, once they move them out, what they do is they immediately plant maize there, and the maize does so well. So, and you
Mm.
just keep rotating them around.
Rotation, yeah.
So by the fourth year, by the time they come again back to that land, the land itself has rested and it's ready again, and and you have all that they are going to eat already available for them on that ground. And that's the best way, you know, to ranch your cows. And it's a win-win situation for both the land and the cow and the farmer.
And the farmer. Oh, thank you so much. It's been very insightful talking to you. I have caller Wale Jumoke Janet on here, who also says thank you. This is so insightful. I have compared organic food items with other types. The gap is so wide. The taste, the shelf life, the awesomeness is great, which is what you've also talked to us about. So I'm glad at least we have people who are watching us live right now, and I know there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be sharing this video. The other thing I would want us to talk about is from a starter, from someone that wants to start with organic farming. What should your budget be like? I know we talked about homesteading, where you could just
Yes.
start small in your. But if let's talk about someone that wants to, an acre of land, 2 acres of land, how would you have to, what's the cost? What's the financial, you know, backing you would have to have for something like that?
Okay. Um, the first thing I'll tell you is don't quit your day job. Okay, you need to have some kind of backup.
Yeah.
What I've done is pretty much most of my investments, I've spent it all. But it's gradually giving back to me now.
Mm,
What you are going to need, like I keep saying, start small. From a
mm,
2-acre farm, you can feed like 200 people.
mm,
Aspect that you're going to need is you're going to need water. So you are going to need some kind of irrigation. You don't want your farm to be rain fed, because
going
once if
fed.
it's rain fed, then that limits the amount of time that you can farm. So you're going to have to either buy a land close to a river that's always flowing, or you do a borehole like I did
Mm,
and irrigate your farm. So once you have that, even in the dry season now in Nigeria, the cost of food skyrockets
yeah.
because most farmers are on vacation.
It's
Just
because
like
of
in
because it's
in the
dry season,
developed,
right?
because of the dry season, there is no rain. So, but once you have water, then it means that you can farm all year round.
All year round.
You're not depending on the rain.
Mm,
So once you so that's something that you need to work in your budget.
mm,
Averagely, it's gonna cost you between 700 to 1 million naira to have
mm.
a industrial bowl sunk on your farm.
So on the farm. Yep.
But it's going to go a long way in making your farm a successful venture.
Mm,
So that's something you also have to invest in. So those are the two most expensive parts of your farming. That is the clearing of the land, and also the cost of sinking a borehole and doing your irrigation.
mm. Now
But start small. Start
start
small. On
small.
1 to 2 acre farm, you can actually do a lot. You can get a
Mm,
lot back, and you can make money. If you know
Yeah,
what you're doing, yes, you can make money.
that's something I've learned so far because one the first show we actually had on the program, I had a lady on here. She was one of the first person that reminded me that starting small is the most important thing, because I used to be of that opinion that, oh, if you want to get a farmland, get 20 acres, 30 acres, 40 acres. That's when they know you're a farmer. But she brought me back to that knowledge that no, 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 no. Do it small, and with the small you can actually maximize your profit from that before you now start expanding, so which is very important. I also have Ogunfunwa Adedeji Samuel, who says, I've been doing organic farming from the beginning of my farming business with no regret. I produce all my input myself. That's good. So thank you very
That's
much.
commendable.
Yeah, thank you very much, Samuel. Um, she also say something that I support all. Okay, she supported everything you've said about organic farming. Thank you so much. Um, we also have Austin Emarua. This topic is inspiring. I want to go into crop farming next year. I will put some of my things I learned here into practice. Thank you so much. We're glad you've been able to learn something today. So Ma, what do you think about greenhouse farming? Is that another idea that you would encourage someone to get into, like having your greenhouse and things like that? Hello, Ma, can you hear me? Can you hear me, man?
Okay, yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. So what are your thoughts about greenhouse farming, having a greenhouse farm?
Oh, if you can afford it, it's a good way to farm because you'll be dealing with less pests.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can afford it, it's a very very good way to go. I don't have a greenhouse yet because I'm still a struggling farmer, but I'm working towards getting my greenhouse next year, mainly for my tomato production.
Mm.
Tomatoes do very very well in a greenhouse.
A greenhouse. Mm.
Yeah, tomatoes,
Mm.
peppers, they do very well. They do better than an open field. So it's
Mm.
definitely something that I'm looking into next year.
Oh, okay.
And can I also share something?
Yes,
In
ma'am. Go
seven
ahead.
years, I actually bought like 20-acre farm.
Mm.
It took me 7 years to plant on every inch of that farm. To the glory of God, this year is when we actually have been able to successfully plant on every inch of that farm.
Mm.
Okay, so it's not easy. So when you say you want to buy like 40 acres, you
Mhm.
don't need it. You don't need to in organic farming.
Mm.
Maybe if you want to do 40 acres, you want to go into like viable tree production,
Yeah,
like palm tree,
palm
which
trees
you
and
can
all
also farm organically.
that. Mm.
So, but 40 acres is way too much for organic
Oh,
farming. You don't need it.
believe me, I used to be of that school of thought that the more land you have, the better farmer you
Yes.
are. But like I said, this show itself, it's what brought me back to that school of thought that no, 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 that's not what you what you need. It's you don't need that much land to actually do things the right way and have things done properly. So I'm learning as well, and talking to someone like you inspires me more and makes me want to do things the right way. I'm very grateful for having you on the show. Like I said, I know I keep saying it over and over again, but that's just what it is, because you're inspiring me as well. What are your to cap everything up? Because I know we're still going to have you on the show. We're going to have to come to your farm. I'm definitely going to have to come to your farm, come and do a
Okay,
production with you.
that's
Definitely,
great.
because that it's that's where I want to be. See things how it's done live, and I know our viewers would love that as well. So, what advice would you give us generally? You know, what would you say to an aspiring farmer, someone that wants to be where you are? I know you're still going further than you are right now, but someone also is inspiring to be where you are. What are your thoughts and advice to someone like that?
I'm so sorry. The Nigerian factor just came in. Most of what you just said, I couldn't hear. It was just so you'll have to maybe just
Yeah,
repeat
I get
yourself.
it. We have that on the show every time, so it's normal. It's not. We always have that issue. It's either the network goes off something. We know that. So, and I know our viewers too understand because they are probably going through the same issue as well. So, what I'm saying is that what are your thoughts and advice to someone that wants to start up?
Okay, again, but all I heard was that to cap it all. So if
Oh,
I'm going
okay.
to just cap it, honestly, I can hear you now. I can hear you now. Can you please say just
Yeah. So
repeat
my
something?
what is the advice you're going to give someone that wants to be where you are right now? I
Okay.
know you are still going further in Jesus' name. You're still going to be bigger than
Amen.
what you are right now. But someone also is inspiring to be where you are. So what would you advise that person?
Okay. What I'll tell you about is, what my advice is when you are coming into farming, especially organic farming, get some training, seek some advice. They say the fool and his money, parts very, very fast.
Yeah.
Don't throw away your hard-earned money. Some people, all they want to just to advise them, then they're ready to like go and invest like 1 2 million naira. Don't throw away your money. There's a niche for everybody in farming. Where is
Mm,
your passion? My passion really is in teaching people, my especially about preserving soil, taking care of your soil, feeding the soil. Okay, I could go on and on about that because that's so important. Because when you feed the soil will feed the plant.
you'll feed the plant.
Okay, there are no shortcuts
Hmm.
in organic farming. You know, when done properly, organic farming is able to maintain the balance of the ecosystem. Take care of the soil, take care of the water, take care of the plant, take care of your animals. And I
Hmm.
will give back to you. You can't just come and just start throwing chemicals around. Even livestock can be raised without
Oh, yeah.
antibiotics, without chemicals. They can be raised naturally with garlic, with ginger, with turmeric, with something that we call there's this thing, I forgot the name, even with cayenne pepper, and they do so well. We have to
Hmm.
depend less on chemicals for our health, for our ecosystem, and for our land. When you're coming into our Greek, please get some training, get some knowledge, know what you're doing. It's not easy. You're not going to quickly recuperate what you invest. But if you get training, you can learn, for example, that there are some crops that are long term, like plantain, pawpaw, etc. But there are some things that you can plant within 30, 40, 90 days that you can start to see some money that will
Money.
sustain you. So in everything you do, get understanding. That is my
Hmm.
advice.
Wow, thank you so much, ma'am. The also, is it possible, or can we have your contact on the show? I would want, if you would like that, for someone to get in touch with you for any information they would want, training, come see your farm. Is that something that it's okay with you?
Oh, I love when people come to my farm because I
Okay.
have such a passion for it that,
Mhm.
some of them is gonna rub off on them.
Yeah.
That's a woman I'm in my mid 50s that I can
Mm.
still be able to achieve this. So
Achieve
imagine our
this.
youth.
Mm.
Imagine our youths that are flocking abroad. Yes, I've lived abroad, been there, done that. You can
Uh,
you can make money right here in Nigeria from
yeah,
farming.
I keep saying that every time. If someone had, I seen the future, I wouldn't be. But it is what it is. I keep telling people every time that Nigeria is the best place to make money, and that's because I've been here, and I see things I have to go through to make that money, and it's something else. That's another topic entirely for us. But so can we have your number, please?
Okay. Again, the Nigerian factor came in,
Okay,
but I heard
can we
part
have
of
your
what you
number,
said.
please?
Okay, that like you keep telling people,
Yeah, I said
my
I keep
joy,
telling.
my passion
Yeah.
is if I can grab our youth, you know, and and have them come into farming.
Mm,
There's money in farming. Take for instance, if you plant ginger, ginger gives you like times 10 what you plant in
yeah.
it.
Or you
From
planted,
as
yeah.
much little as a plot of land, you can get like 2 tons of ginger.
Yeah.
And a ton now is about 450, 500,000 naira. So just imagine what you are getting back. You
Mm,
can plant turmeric, you can dry it, and when you add value, you even make more money. The market in Nigeria alone is enough for you. You're not even thinking
yes.
of exporting.
Yeah.
We can
That's
revive our cocoa industry.
mm,
You know, like recently, I had one of the somebody that works, with the federal government, and they came to ask me, Madam, what can we do to revive Nigeria's lost glory? Malaysia, they came to get their palm seeds from
yeah.
Nigeria in the
From
70s.
Nigeria. That's
Today, they
true.
are number one in the world. Nigeria is nowhere to be found. We were at the forefront of coffee, of cocoa.
Cocoa.
Nigeria is nowhere to be found. Ghana and Ivory Coast, they have taken over. Nigeria is the largest producer of yam, but Ghana is the largest exporter of yam.
Exporter of yam. Yep.
What are we doing? We can revive Nigeria's lost glory through agriculture. When the price of oil began to crash, I was extremely happy that maybe we can revive back our agriculture the way it was in the 60s and 70s when Nigeria built everything that we could see from agriculture
Mm,
that is still standing today. What exactly has this oil boom given us, if not pain and heartache and
mm,
destroying our ecosystem? Nothing to show for it. But we can still see things like the cocoa house in Ibadan,
yeah.
NTA of it
That's
was
true.
all from agriculture.
I'm from agriculture.
Yes. And
Yeah.
our land in Nigeria, China doesn't have our land, though, or neither does India.
Mm,
I have Indians that this my humble person, I have consulted for them
mm,
in ginger. They have come to me. What can we do for export? Just do ginger. Because the market, the global market demand alone is enough to make anybody a billionaire.
mm,
So Nigerian farming in Nigeria, we have the perfect weather. We have more than enough rainfall in the southwest. Our land is rich. I don't know why we are not excelling in agriculture.
Mm. Wow, that's a food for thought. We need to, get things done the right way. We need to encourage ourselves, our youths, to get back into agriculture. We need to, one of the reasons why we have the show is to be able to get people to, get back into that bandwagon agricultural
Yes.
bandwagon. So that's one of the reasons why we have the show. Ma'am, can we have your number so that I can give our viewers? That's if it's okay with you.
Can we have the what?
Your phone number, your contact.
Oh, sure. Another thing I want to mention is we always also to have classes every 3 months on
Okay.
WhatsApp where we
Okay.
teach people organic
Mhm.
practicing,
Okay.
especially in your backyard. You
Mm.
can start it. You can start small, you know, start something. You can grow vegetables, you can grow tomatoes, you can grow yams, you can grow potatoes. Grow it from your leftovers. From the
Mm.
tomatoes that you wash, it will always give you seeds. Throw it on the ground somewhere. It will come up. It will give you
Mm.
something. My phone number is 080
Okay.
837 08687. Again, 080 837 08687. My
680.
I'm also on all the social medias, Olajumoke Awoshika, on Facebook, on Instagram. I'm there, and they call me the organic instructor. So
Mm.
call me, reach out to me. We charge a nominal fee. Next month we're going to teach like about 100 prisoners that were just released from prison. Somebody gave them lands to farm. I have offered to give them seeds and free training. You know, once you can get somebody to farm, you are getting someone to produce food for the nation. So it's a good initiative.
All right, there you have it, guys. I have Mrs. Awoshika's contact scrolling up on the show, on the screen right now. Let me just put that on. So that's Mrs. Olajumoke's Shika's contact. It's 080 8370 8687. Also, you can get her on our social media handle, which is Olajumoke Awoshika. And also, she's the organic farmer. I'm very sure if you Google her, she's going to come up as well, which is what I'm doing as well right now. Yep, there you have it. She's on Google. Just search and you get our social media handle and everything. Thank you very much, ma'am. That number you gave us is also the one you use for WhatsApp, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you can also reach out WhatsApp as well. Organic farming, it's a broad topic. We've only been able to just model our feet in the water of it right now. We have actually haven't actually talked about much about it. So I'm going to put you on the spot. Hopefully, we're going to be having you back on the show one more time. And also, we'll be hoping to come to your farm to do a live show there so that we'll be able to see things firsthand and get more knowledge from you. Thank you once again for coming on the show with us. We're very grateful. And we hope when next we ask you, you'll be able to come.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. It's been a real pleasure for me to talk about my passion and my joy of farming. Thank you so much
Uh,
and well done for the good work you are doing.
Thank you. Thank you. There you have it, guys. We have come to another end of the show, but not definitely stopping. We're going to be bringing someone else on the show next Friday. And who knows, it could still be Mrs. Awoshika that we'll bring back on. You have a contact on the show, so contact her. Let's keep the conversation going. Organic farming, like we said, is a very broad topic where we're just starting with. Let's do things the right way, and remember, farming feeds the nation. And so let's help feed Nigeria. Let's get back our lost glory. Let's get back into farming so that we can feed our nation, Nigeria. And also, we're grateful for you having you guys on the show. Like us on Facebook, share, and let your friends see the show. And also do subscribe on YouTube and also share and click on the notification button so that when our live show comes up, you'll be notified about the show. And signing out right now, my name remains Ayodeji. I'm grateful to be here. And let's keep farming and let's keep the conversation going. Thank you.